guys, today I'm going to show you part 1 of me working on this retaining wall. This is a small little retaining wall on my front patio and it just needs refinished. So for this, I'm going to use a few different things and you may need some of these things if you're going to do something similar. I am using one of these. I forget what this is called, but it's kind of like a trowel slash spatula situation. I can't remember what this is called. I don't know why. But you'll also need one of these masonry hammers. It's specifically a masonry hammer. You might need one of these little brooms just to like brush away things or to scratch up the wet cement with to create a texture. And you will most likely need one of these. It's a scraper and a bristle brush, or not a bristle brush. What is it called? It's like metal bristles. Oh my gosh, I cannot remember the name of anything. Of course, since I'm recording. What is it? A steel brush? What is it called? Anyway, you need one of these mud pans. Or a cat litter box. I ended up using a cat litter box, an old one that I no longer need, and you will need some gloves. I prefer to wear gloves for anything like this. I do not want this stuff crusting onto my hands or under my nails. It's a pain to clean up. Here is a grouting and concrete sponge. You will definitely need one of these, and this is what it looks like. You will also need some of these kind of gloves. I mean, it depends on your preference. Sometimes I like to use the thinner gloves so I can actually feel what I'm doing. This is masonry caulk. I didn't use it on this specific part of this specific project, but I do need this in other areas of my foundation. So, you might need this, you might not. So I start off by just sweeping, which honestly, in hindsight, probably didn't need to sweep first. Would have done this in a different order. I learned a lot while I did this project, and I definitely think that I have a better idea of what steps to take for a project like this now that I've done this. But you definitely don't need to sweep first, but you definitely need to sweep after you have scraped the paint off, and you've scraped things out of the cracks, and you've used the masonry hammer. Anytime you're scraping that paint off, you definitely want to sweep that up ASAP, especially if you live in a very windy area like I do. I mean, most of the time, the past couple years, it's just gotten windier and windier where I live, so I definitely have to keep on top of cleaning up my workspace as I go. So you can see here I'm using the masonry hammer to just kind of break up some of this these pieces of concrete that are just falling apart. They're just crumbling, and you can see there's this huge crack that I need to fill, and I am by no means an expert. I am far from it. I'm a novice at this. I watch videos on YouTube. I watched this great guy on YouTube called Mike Haddock, I think is how you say his last name, and I am not nearly at his level. He is a professional at this stuff, and I watch his videos to get some sort of idea of how to do these things, but I definitely don't always follow what he does. So don't go off of me, go off of his videos instead. This video is merely just to show you what I did and what I'm up to in the garden and how I'm trying to transform this patio to make it a little bit more cozy and homey and less ugly. But also, I've got to fix the structure of this wall, and I'll tell you why. We interrupt this broadcast to remind you to please wear a mask, preferably a ventilator mask with cartridges on the side. In this video, clearly I forgot to wear one, and I should have worn one. Even on a hot summer day, I should have worn one anyway, and in the next project that I'm scraping paint, I wore a mask. So please at least wear a dust mask, but at the best, a ventilator. Back to the show. If you notice in the top right hand corner of the wall, that brick is actually not attached anymore. It somewhere along the way came unattached, and it was very recent. So that's another reason I'm doing this project now, because I want to reattach that brick, and I want to fill some of these cracks, and I want to either paint this wall or put up faux stone in front of it to make it look nicer. I haven't quite decided yet what the final product is going to look like, because I do need to actually step onto or over this wall to get into this flower bed a lot, because as you can see, the hose is kind of back there above, and I actually step up onto this wall a lot, so I need whatever covering I put on it to be sturdy. So we'll see how it goes, but I will say I'm very happy with how this has so far turned out. It's not finished. You'll see that this is a part 1, but very, very pleased with the strength of this wall after I made these improvements. And that's the main important thing. We want the structure and the strength of this wall to be really good, because we don't want it to decay and fall and be dangerous. So that is the main goal, and I think I accomplished that pretty well because of following the Mike Haddock tutorials. Again, I oftentimes forget some of the steps and have to go back and fix my work because I have no experience doing this until now. And so one of the important things you want to remember when you are attaching anything to the concrete wall, like if you want to reattach that brick or anything, you have to wet it first. That's what he always says in his videos. You got to wet it to make it stick, is how he words it. And so sometimes I forget and I have to like remove the brick. You'll see later in the video. But that is very important to remember, is not only do you want your surface to be as free of debris as possible and free of dirt as possible and as smooth as possible, so that you can set your piece back in or fill in your cracks or whatever you want to do, but you also need to wet it right before you put that cement into it. So, also, again, reference his videos to get a good idea of a ratio for your cement mix, because that is where I got my cement mix from. Like, the ratio, it's super important, and I think that is why this is so strong now. Where I put this brick back in, you can see this is what it looks like underneath where that brick came out of. And so I'm just scraping this with the wire brush. That's what it's called. It's called a wire brush. And I'm scraping it with the scraper part because it's like a 2-in-1. And later on, this is the part that I forgot to wet, and I had to like remove the brick real quick and wet it, and then I had to kind of dab it with a paper towel because the water sat in that little dip and it was just too wet at that point. So you want it to be wet, but you don't want it to be like a puddle, you know? So this is me just mixing the cement together, and in that big litter box that I have, this was my cat's litter box a few years back, and I just kind of kept it around for things like this. So anywho, again, I'm not a professional, so don't necessarily follow every. See, I had to wet it. You know, I did it out of order. I had to go back and fix my work. See, but since it's wet after this, that's great. Only thing I think I forgot to do was wet the actual brick. I think I was supposed to wet the actual brick as well, and I don't think I did. But you can watch the video and you can let me know if I did that wrong. I'm not sure. It may have been wet already. I can't really remember because I actually filmed this in the summer. And it's been a while. A lot has gone on over here. I haven't had a chance to edit this video in forever. So I apologize that it's a little bit of a mess. But the main goal of this video is just to show you that there are certain things, like small little projects like this, where this is just a little retaining wall, and it can give you. See, I think I should have wetted the bottom of that before I stuck it down. But I will say, so far so good. It has stayed in place. It feels very solid. But, you know, you should probably lightly spritz, like with a mist spray. Anything that you want. Yeah, see, look, I just did it there. Anything that you want to adhere, because you want things to stick. You want that cement to adhere. So, we're nearing the end of this video. We've just got maybe like, I don't know, 3-4 minutes left of this video. And I just want to say one thing to keep in mind. At the end of this video, this wall's going to look kind of ugly. And that's because this part 1 was all about bringing back the structural integrity of this wall, as well as filling gaps and cracks in the patio itself, so the floor of the patio. So let me just go in for a minute of what I plan to do next. So next time I work on this wall, I plan to rent some sort of grinder, some sort of diamond. It's like a diamond attachment to a grinder or a sander or whatever, because I want to smooth the surface back to an easier to paint surface, or an easier, smoother surface to put faux stone. And the reason is because I would love that faux stone look, especially since this wall is so small, and those faux stones can kind of get pricey. But my neighbor also told me that there's a way to make them yourself, so that might save me some money. I might be able to make them myself. And then I can have that stacked stone look instead of the cement block look. And that's actually what I would prefer to do. And since this is such a small little section wall, I think that I could afford to do that, and I could do that generally well, hopefully. Cross your fingers. But if not, then I still need to smooth the surface for painting. So whichever avenue I take, I still have to smooth the surface with the grinder. And I need a grinder anyway for the backyard. That's another video that you guys will see soon, hopefully. Because we have a backyard project going on all at the same time. There's like 500 different things going on. But I hope you stick with me, and hopefully as I create more videos, I get better at explaining the process and editing the videos, and I hope you enjoy and you stick around long enough to see what I'm up to, because this patio has a long way to go. I still want to make it more aesthetically pleasing. I want to add like patio furniture. I want to add a rug, like an outdoor rug. I've got like cracks to seal and painting to do, and I just cannot wait to have the final product done and to show you guys that product, because I think it's going to be great. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'm just going to let the rest of the video play out and speak for itself. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to try to remember to link the Mike Haddock channel in the description, because again, he's a better person to follow for an actual step-by-step tutorial and an actual professional how-to video on this. This video is just me trying to take what I've learned from his videos and apply them to my project, and just to get this wall back to working order. And that's about it. And I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day, and I hope that your projects at your house are going well, and I hope that everyone is healthy and happy and well. So I'll see you next time. Bye!